Good afternoon. It is 1:37 p.m. on Friday, August 30th, 2024. I am going to do a tutorial that I told one of my friends and subscribers that I would do about a week ago, and I just have completely spaced it and forgot all about it. So you're going to hear things ding from time to time. I just got sent a message and I'll deal with that later. So what this is DaVinci Resolve, and I turned my icons off and I shut DaVinci down. I want to start this from literally scratch, beginning. So I'm going to single click down here on my taskbar and it'll fire up DaVinci. Hopefully it fires it up and there it is on the machine in front of me. That's always a good thing. Unlike yesterday's debacle, oh my goodness. That was pretty informative, but the shortened version and then part two, that worked out pretty good. All right, so when you open DaVinci, the first thing that comes up is your library. And you can either do an untitled project or you can reopen a project you were doing later, earlier in the thing. So I've got to pause this. All right, I'm back. I may have to debate whether I'm going to cut that out or not. When I do the replay, I'll find out. Anyway. It opens to your library, and 9 out of 10 times, in my case, I'm going to do an untitled project. Occasionally, I will go back and relive or redo or fix something. For example, the second try logo, I'm going to work on that later today. So let's open up. Let's get to the point. Let's open this up. Open up an untitled project. It's just exactly that. It's untitled. There was a question on some things as to what these numbers are. The number down here is your timeline number, and mine right now says it's starting out at an hour. These two up here are saying they're starting out at 0.0000000 and 1/100th of a frame. And this one I believe is timeline 2. Now I can't go anywhere in the timeline because there's no data in the timeline. To change this from an hour to 0.0000000, you go to DaVinci Resolve in the upper left hand corner. You go down to Preferences. You go into User. You go into Editing. And you change the time code right here. And you will see mine says, and I wished I could zoom this. I can't figure out a way to make this zoom. I see creators that zoom this all the time, but I have no idea how to do it. Well, actually, I do have a pretty good idea how to do it. And I believe that software may have disappeared off of my desktop. I'm going to see something kind of real quick and see if I can find it. I'm gonna pause this. I'll be right back. I apologize. I'm not looking straight into the camera, and I realize that's horrible. Be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I discovered what I thought I could use, and I can, but I can't. So one way to zoom this is I'm going to use Sword Soft Mousetrack that one of my subscribers got me a couple years ago, and I use it occasionally. I'll go to the zoom feature. And if you notice in the upper right hand corner, it zooms it for me, but it really is not helping out for you guys. So I've got to figure out a way to be able to zoom this. But you'll see here under user, the starting time code for mine is already at 0.00000. Now, you're probably going, well, wait a minute. Over here, it's 1 hour. That's because I don't have any media in here. I'm 99.99% sure if I come in here and I go grab any media whatsoever, and I need this one because I'm going to work with it later today, and I bring it into the project, look at that, bada bing, bada boom, it automatically changes to 0.000. So even though it reflects that it's an hour without data, when you bring data into it, it goes back to It's at the zero. It's at the beginning. It's at 0, 0, 0, 0. And by the way, this is frames, seconds, minutes, hours, I do believe. And I can verify that by going to the end. I have mine set up on a 15-second. Anything I bring into DaVinci is going to be for 15 seconds, and then I adjust it from there. If I were to go up here and change the clip duration by highlighting it, right-clicking it, and let's just change it to 1 minute even, and get rid of the 15 seconds, and then hit change. It extends it out, and if I go to the end, you'll notice this now says 1 minute. By the same token, if I right-click, change clip duration, and let's say I want to make it an hour, I take an hour away, and I'm going to take away the minute. I'm going to keep it as even as I can. I'm going to hit change. Again, it's going to extend it. Again, if I go all the way to the end, I guess that's 10 hours. Oh, did I really put 10 hours? Doesn't matter, you get the idea. Change the clip duration. I did put 10 hours, so I want to go over here. I don't want 10 hours. I want 1 hour. I think that'll do it. Nope. Wow. Right click. Change. It shows 1 hour. Change. And now it's 1 hour. If we go back to the beginning, it's at 0, 0. Go to the end, it's at 1 hour. You can hit the home button on your keyboard, takes you to the beginning. You can hit the end key on your keyboard, takes you to the end. But the results are the same. It takes you to the beginning, to the end. Now, you'll notice this one up here says 1 hour. This one says 0, 0. This one says 0, 0. If I were to scroll through here, I can scroll now because I have data. If I were to scroll through here, you will notice this number and this number are exactly the same. It's kind of redundant in my opinion, but it's the timeline location. I'm at 9 seconds and 15 frames. If I hit the arrow key, 16, 17, 18. If I hit shift arrow, it goes 1 second. So I'll demonstrate that again. We're going to go back to the 10-second mark, and you'll see at the bottom it's showing the key that I'm hitting. That's because that's automatically set by default to show my keystroke. Good thing, bad thing. So we're at the 10-second. We're at the 10-second. I'm going to hit shift, right arrow, and I'm going to go 1 second from 10 to 11. Or you can do it this way. That just takes you to the end. So that is that. Timeline. Now, I'm trying to figure out what this one is because I honestly don't know. And I've not researched this. I'm going to go to the 30-second mark-ish. That's the 30-second mark. This one's still timeline. This one has not changed. So to be honest, it's set in hours, minutes, seconds, and frames, just like this one is. Let's click out over to frames. Okay, that could be helpful. Although I don't know that you need it. I mean, that tells me I'm on the 108,000th frame. Now, am I actually on the 1,800th frame? 108,000th frame. Well, let's go into Fusion. And we were at the 900th frame. So not quite 108,000. If we come up here to 108,000, where it shows we're at, guess I should go the right way. And I'm not going to go all the way up to 10800 because that would be forever and a day. So that's kind of interesting because that's not exactly what I thought it was. This is how you can verify your frames. So I don't think you can change the duration in Fusion. No, you can't. So let's say you don't want it to be an hour long. Let's say you want it to be 5 seconds. Right click, change the duration. I'm going to point something else out too while I'm here. I've got this hotkeyed, so you can change the clip duration by right clicking on it or Control D. I'm not a big hotkey fan, but if I go here and I Control D, it brings up your little box to do this. And let's just set this to a stock 5 seconds. We're going to hit change. We're going to go to the home page. We're going to go, this says we're at 150. And we're going to go into Fusion. And we're going to go to the end. And I'm going to bet you it's 150. I said we're going to go to the end, and I bet you it's gosh dang it, tell me I'm not, there we go. And it is 150. So now I know what that one up there is. I just figured out what that is. It's helpful, sort of, kind of. You can see right here, if I go back to home, oh, you can't do that in Fusion. So if I come over here and go back to the beginning, come back over here, I'm at 0 frame. If I go to the end here, come over here, I got to go one. If for some reason it doesn't go all the way, I'm at 150. So now we have our answer. We'll go back to the edit page. We know that this is now your frame count for your project. Now I'm curious what happens if I duplicate this by pressing Alt, left click, drag. Now I'm at 300. Makes sense. It automatically knows because this is 150 frames and you added 150 frames, it knows it's at 300. By the same token, if I Alt, drag again, it's going to go to 450. And it does. So that's good. I'm probably going to leave that there. I like that, even though and that way I don't have to go to Fusion and go, oh geez, how many frames do I have? Well, I've got 150 per box. But I'm not at the end, so if I go to the end, I'm going to be at, well, I should have been at 450 because I was able to go in here, which is interesting. That's because it's reading all this, but that's neither here nor there. All right, so hopefully this clears this up for our good friend out of Minnesota, Rick Lakes, and I'm going to turn that off by hotkeying it F11. So you have your timeline, your frame count, or you can right click it and change it to the same exact thing as down here, which would be redundant. Although what it does is it tells you there are 15 seconds per box. If I go over here to the end, I believe it's going to say 45, or it should say 45. I guess it doesn't. Okay, interesting. I'm going to leave it at frames. I like that. I'm going to right click, frames, and I know my project's got 450 frames. So, to recap, I'm going to close this. I'm not going to save it. I don't want it. Don't save. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to single click on my taskbar to bring up DaVinci. This is on my old machine, by the way. This is the one with the graphics card. I'm anticipating a delay for my new graphics card. Untitled project. We're at an hour. We're at 00 here, and we don't have it up here because we don't have any data in here. Now, it's interesting that this is at an hour and this is at 00 because it should be at 00. So, upper left, DaVinci Resolve Preferences, User, Editing, and you can start your time code anywhere you want. I prefer mine to be at the beginning of 0000. Then you click Save, and you're good to go. I'm not going to make any changes, so I'm just going to cancel this. I'm going to go grab some media. I'm going to right-click, Media, and again, I'm going to work with this one. So I'm going to highlight it, open, bring it down to the timeline, and it's 15 seconds. If we close our media pool, 15 seconds of is 450. Says it right there. It's 450 frames. 15-second clip, 15-second clip. If we go over to Fusion, we will verify that it is actually 450 frames. I hope this is helpful to not only our friend Rick in Minnesota, but I hope this is useful and helpful to someone else as well. If you like what you see, please hit the like button. If you like what you see and would like to see more of this type of content, which is not new by no means, it's been around for years, put a comment, send me an email at kstoutzz00m@gmail.com, and let me know what you think, and let me know your thoughts and suggestions. Thank you for watching. Have a great afternoon, and I will see you tonight on the Ken Stout Live Show with the Zoom homies at 10 o'clock my time, which is Eastern Standard Time. Have a great afternoon, everybody. I hate this small camera. Oh, another blooper. Bye.